about you guys, but when I first got this assignment, I overthought it a lot. I kept looking for something grand and sweeping to say, and I don't have anything grand or sweeping to say. And I don't really like talking directly about myself. So instead of talking directly about myself, I'm going to talk to you about two things that this class really made me think about. And hopefully the way I talk to you about them will tell you something about me. And two things that really this class made me think about were the concept of noise and the way that the medium in which we communicate affects our message, which are related but not the same. So on page 5 of chapter 1 of our textbook, the model of communication is pictured, and noise is a huge part of that model. According to the textbook, there are 4 types of noise: physiological, psychological, physical, and cultural. Physiological and physical noise are both sort of in the same category for me because I think they're more important for a listener than the person actively communicating. Physical noise is just like actual things that the audience is hearing, and physiological noise is like the state of the listener if they're sick, for example. When you're sick, you are in a bad state in which to receive information, and as a listener, understanding the physical and physiological state that you are in when you are listening helps you pay attention and notice, is this person actually being blunt, or am I just very sick and I'm not paying close enough attention to hear all the ways in which they're trying to be very nice to me. Meanwhile, on the other end, psychological and cultural noise is like the psychology and culture of a person. And as a listener, you can't really just pretend to have a different mind or culture than the one you have. So those are more important for a communicator to focus on, to think about how, who you are talking to and what you should adjust about how you're talking based on what you know about them and the culture they come from. But that's enough about that. I'm going to talk about something completely different now. The concept of the medium is the message. So in 1964, Marshall McLuhan wrote a book called Understanding Media, in which he used the short, evocative phrase, the medium is the message. What it ultimately means is that how you say something is the most important component of what is received when you say it. And it isn't always true. All TV shows inherently carry a message that you should be watching television, that television is an important way to receive information, and that you should do more of it because they are TV shows. And you can write a TV show that says watching TV is bad for you and you should do it less. But at the end of the day, the fact that it is a TV show will override that. Our speeches are weird to try to fit this into because, of course, we didn't choose to give these speeches as so much as the transfer system decided we needed to take a public speaking class in order to transfer. But I still think there's something to be said for how the format of our speeches affects the message. The main way that the medium affects the message in our class, in my opinion, is that when we hear each other speak, we all know that we are all in the same boat. When I hear your speech, I also hear all of the effort and stress that went into my own speech because I know that you spent the same amount of stress and effort making a really good speech. And I really liked all your speeches. They were good. So that means that no matter what speech we give, it comes from a place of familiarity. You could give a speech about being a space alien in this class, and it would still have a message of familiarity because we are all peers. So that's all I have to say about all of that. I hope that me going over these things that I think about all the time because I overthink everything helped you see how this class affected me as a person, as someone who is now going to think a lot more about the noise in every conversation that I have, and someone who is going to think more about how the medium in which I communicate is the message, as well as the explicit message. And I'm happy to not have any more speeches to do, and I'm sure you are too. Bye!